'cause I'm the son of a third-generation farmer. I've been married 10 years to the farmer's daughter. I got 2 boys in the county 4-H. I'm a lifetime sponsor of the FFA. Hey!
Good morning in Halleck. Good morning in Hunter, home of the Hornets. Thank you for making KFGO number 1 in the morning, number 1 all day long. The KFGO Morning Crew. Doug Leier, Amistadi, getting your Monday set for you.
Monday mornings right around 6:40. We like to bring in KFGO Farm and Ranch Director Sarah Heinrich and talk consumer issues. Good morning to you, Sarah.
Hey, good morning, crew. Welcome to Monday.
It is. We've got some changing habits here you wanted to talk about with shopping in the pandemic.
Yeah, and we discussed a little bit about this in regards to, people changing their behaviors, maybe not wanting to go into stores as much. But I think now it's become even more prevalent than ever. We saw just a ton of this in March and April. And then we kind of backed off a little bit in the summer because, numbers were better. And I think people were ready to get kind of back to normal starting about in May. And now, obviously, we're seeing a surge again where people are wanting to do that online ordering. They're wanting to, not go into stores. They don't want to get exposed, and they're just kind of wanting to keep their distance, to say the least. But this is really having a major impact on grocery stores. And, you maybe don't think of it that way. But when you think about all of the things that they need to add in order to make this online component happen, now, it's not only the web service that they need to make happen. They need to add kiosks so that, if you do go inside, that you're able to check yourself out. Canopies for cars to drive under. They're adding floor space, and so that they can get more additional orders ready. They're having their own employees get ready. And so then they're also adding employees, or their employees have now switched to a different position because they're trying to prep your grocery order. And so it's really interesting to see how the grocery store chain has really changed, because we used to walk in, buy our stuff, somebody checks it out, we leave. And now, we're buying online, someone else is going and getting it for us. And so it's interesting to see, I think, just how much change has gone into each and every grocery store across the country because of what consumers' preferences have become.
Earlier this summer, I was visiting with an assistant manager at a local grocery store, similar to that topic of how I looked at it. There was all these people, and I don't know what the name of it is, that like people come in and buy your groceries for you. You buy it on an app, Bonnie. Do you know the name of that service?
No, I did it at one time. Okay, I can't remember what it's called.
Whatever it is, but you buy your groceries on an app. Somebody goes and picks them up for you. And there were all these people doing that. And he said to me, it's really not that bad for the stores because it almost turns us into a warehouse. And there's the people that are coming in know what they're looking for, know where to go, and they actually spend less time trying to help people go find the stuff because these people have been in the store 5 times that day. They know where everything's at.
They know where everything's at, and they're experienced shoppers. They know what's going on. I know in a lot of cases, I'm sure in some of these big box retailers where you're buying online and you're doing the pickup option, a lot of those groceries never hit the shelves. And so now instead of paying someone to stock the shelves, you're basically keeping those groceries in the back, and they're probably shopping from the back, and picking off of shelving in the back, picking out of boxes in the back, because there's no point in putting those groceries on the shelves when they're moving out the door on online orders.
Here's what I noticed in the one time I did it. It was fine. It worked out fine, but I don't know how good, like you said, they're getting them out of the back. But the time I got it, they weren't. They were picking, off the shelves like we would. I don't know how closely they look at expiration dates, and especially if it's, say, lettuce. Sometimes lettuce expires like within 2-3 days if you're not like looking towards the back of the bin, or produce, or dairy products. I noticed that like the dates weren't as far back as I would have preferred on a couple of things that I had selected that way.
I had the exact same encounter, Bonnie. And so there was a pork loin that I picked up, and so I went to put it in the fridge, and I looked at the best by date, and the best by date was tomorrow. And so then obviously I threw that in the oven right away, and I just changed dinner plans, and that was fine, but I couldn't agree more. And so that would be, I would say, my only negative experience with it as well, because I've done quite a few online and pickup orders with 2 small children. And so, put that in the app, buy it, drive to town, bring it home with me. But I would definitely agree with you on the expiration dates, is that, they're probably picking off of the floor in that point, and they're buying some of that stuff that's going to be expiring a little bit sooner.
And I'm super picky about produce on top of it. Like, I want the best of the best, whether I'm picking up, apples or lettuce or something like that. So for me, it wasn't I wouldn't probably do it again unless I absolutely had to, but I think it's working fantastic for some people. Say they or somebody in their house is high risk, then this is working very good for them.
Absolutely. And I couldn't agree more with you with that. Is it my first choice to be buying my groceries on an app and then going to town and getting them? Absolutely not. Not my first choice. But when you have two small children versus taking them in right now, who haven't been exposed to COVID and all that, you're thinking to yourself, okay, this is probably a safer way of going about things. Obviously, not the only ones. When you see in August, online grocery sales were up nearly 75% compared to last year. I mean, that's a huge increase. And even for you in-store shoppers like Bonnie, who would rather go inside, think of how much things have changed. So I got to putting in a little bit of thought on that. Talk about contactless paying. We used to pay and you maybe used to have to pick up the pen and you used to have to sign the piece of paper or whatever. Now you basically just stick your credit card in and it says remove your card and it's over. And so I think of that. I think of the self-checkouts. I think of, having fewer people working the checkouts. And so you're not having that contact with them. If you are, it's through plexiglass or whatever. And so I was just thinking, talk about how much less contact we've been having compared to what it was even just a year ago.
Are you getting used to it and liking it, or are you not getting used to it and want it to go back to the way it used to be?
I would want it to go back to the way it used to be, probably. I don't think I'm getting used to it and liking it. I'm definitely a social person. I like, just the contact with people. I like visiting with people. And so maybe I'm so much of an extrovert that I would rather have it the way that it was before, maybe. Now I feel like you go in, you get your shopping cart, you don't say anything to anybody, and you go in, you get your stuff, and you get out again.
So you can be like my wife and go to the grocery store for bananas and take you 2 hours because you're standing there talking to people all day, Sarah?
Yeah, I could be that person.
So when you look at the way the grocery stores have changed, are they preparing to keep it this way, do you think?
At this point, I don't think that there's any relief in sight. So when you talk about like Cub Foods based in Minnesota, or you talk about Hy-Vee, that's a big brand down in South Dakota, those stores have invested a tremendous amount of money into additional floor space, trying to prep orders, trying to make sure that they can meet the demand. And so I don't think that any grocery store is planning on this changing anytime soon. I think that all of us were very hopeful that coronavirus was going to be very short-lived. We were going to hit summer, things were going to go away, or maybe even, we were going to hit 21 and things were going to go away. I think that everybody's really aware right now that it's not going away nearly as fast as what any of us were hoping. And so I think that these grocery stores are just continuing to make more and more changes, because I think that they know that this is going to be here to stay for a while. And they're trying to make you as happy as you possibly can, whether you're buying it online or you're going in the store, to make sure that you're not having any contact.
You bet, and to protect their employees as well as the public who's shopping. All right, Sarah, we'll catch you again about 7:25.
Absolutely. We'll see you in the next hour.
You bet. That's KFGO Farm and Ranch Director Sarah Heinrich. We like to spend Monday mornings in Medina talking consumer.